Have you ever felt like it didn't seem to matter what you said or did? Your child was just not going to get on board with you in your homeschool that day? Have you ever felt like the resistance was so much that it was probably better to just stop and take a break? But then this started to happen almost every day. What can you do to fight this battle when really it's more of an invisible battle? When I say invisible battle, what I mean is that there are forces that we're contending with that we don't always understand. And what we are going to hone in on today is the concept of false belief systems. False belief systems? I'm talking about those core beliefs we hold about ourselves and the world around us that shapes how we view learning. So, for example, let's say that you had a childhood where math was not a good subject for you. For many people, the subject of mathematics is viewed as a really hard subject or a burden or super boring. And they have these beliefs that they're not good at math. Math is supposed to be hard, and you're never going to be able to understand. This belief system about your ability to do well at math and the ability for math to even be a successful subject area for you is going to shape the way that you approach doing mathematics. If this is something that you hold, you can unconsciously pass this idea, this belief system on to your child. So let's say that it's time for math and you hold this belief system that math is hard. You may not even realize that you start to get a little bit more tense. You start to get a little bit more rigid. Perhaps you've chosen things that can be done quickly, like one worksheet rather than an exploratory process, because you don't want to draw out this experience any longer than it needs to be. Your child will notice these things and they will start to adopt those same belief systems about math. And next thing you know, now they're resistant to doing their math work. This is what I mean by an invisible battle, something that we don't even realize, something that is hindering ourselves from letting the light and the curiosity from shining forth. When we view something as difficult and that we expect that we're not going to succeed at it, then it typically will take the curiosity and the creativity and just that oomph that we need for the internal motivation in order to complete that well. You may start to notice things like your child resisting by saying that they don't want to do that activity. They may start to hide under their hood. They may literally leave the room. Do you notice what these responses are? These are fight or flight responses. These are stress responses. When we feel like something is stressful for us, we either want to fight against it or get out of there. When we notice this, we can say, my child is stressed about this thing that we are doing. And when you recognize that, then you can start to think, okay, well, what is stressful? Why is it stressful? And then what can we do about it? Let's walk through these teaching tools right now, right here, so that today you can have a more enjoyable and relaxed, easygoing homeschool. All right, so number one was recognizing what those false beliefs are. You could do this a couple of ways. One, you could look at yourself, because a lot of what we believe is naturally passed on to our children, like I talked about with the math example earlier. Also, you can really take note, listen, and even write down what kinds of words you hear your child say when they talk about themselves or what they think, and be really careful to listen to what they're saying that they believe. Are they saying that they believe that something is not possible for them? Are they saying that they believe something is going to be hard, so then they kind of create this to be hard? Are they saying that they believe that their interaction with you is supposed to be hard? Do they think that the world is an unsafe place, so when they look at these real world examples, they don't feel safe about it? So first of all, take that time to recognize realize what it is you really are battling, because this is not about you against your child when you rub up and meet that resistance in those moments. This is really about finding what is it that your child thinks and believes, and is that true? And now that we know what we are dealing with here, we can actually then start to do number 2, which is to identify the truth. So think about, what is your standard of truth? What is it that is false about this belief system? For the belief system that math is hard, or I'm not good at math, that is something that can shift. We can have a shift in perspective, and you can see a future where your child thinks, oh, math is easy, or I can find a way to get better at this. You can now start to shift perspective and think about, what is true? Is it really true that math is hard? Or can we instead shift our perspective to think, I am capable at growing and getting better at everything I do every day? When we shift our perspective and when we teach our children about how they can shift their perspectives, all of a sudden you have this freedom from this blockage. This burden that was there is now pruned off, and your child no longer needs to see their learning through that false belief system lens. If you are willing to work on some of these false belief systems in yourself, you will be able to then share those stories of how you shifted your perspective and changed your thinking. And you can share these stories with your child as an example for them to learn how they can make those shifts in their own minds. This is so powerful, to lead by example, to walk alongside them and show them that we are learning these things for our whole lives. That's the whole point of being a lifelong learner, is that you are willing to change your mind. You're willing to shift your perspective. You are willing to search out what the truth is and align yourself with that. Even if you identify the truth, there are still going to be so many false belief systems that we hold that we don't even know about. So the third thing we want to do is to change the way that we speak. We want to take the blame out of it. We want to take the shame out of it. We want to take the accusatory type of statements out of it. We have the opportunity to provide that safe space for them to share these things. If your child says to you that they're really having trouble understanding this particular question and they don't know what to do, it is not going to be the most helpful thing to say, you got this, you can do it. All you need to do is change the way you think about yourself. What is helpful is to acknowledge what they are thinking and feeling in that moment. You can say something like, I hear you. This looks like something that is new for you and is challenging. What have you tried so far? And is there anything that you would like me to give you a hint about or give you some ideas about? This type of questioning for our children that draws out their thinking doesn't necessarily come naturally, and it does take some practice. It does take examples. It does take resources and support and encouragement to do this consistently and to do this well, so that our children feel safe to explore in their learning, to get messy and vulnerable. If you are looking for where you can find resources, support, and encouragement in these teaching processes in your homeschool, well, I've got you covered. I show homeschooling moms how to simplify education so that you can be free from overwhelm and teach with easygoing confidence. That is my entire goal here. I'm here to support you, and I have everything that you need to do that over on my website, homeschoolteachingsimplified.com. Well, I hope to see you there. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this video and you would like to catch the next one. And for now, I really hope that you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.